And then I'm going to go ahead and share. So this is going to be, okay, wonderful. Here we are. So this is our bonus session. You know, Dr. Uno let me do this bonus session. I always want to do this session because these stories of the real life physician entrepreneurs and what they're doing and how they are killing it in business, doing things that, I mean, it's really blowing my mind. You know, I've just a little background for me. Those of you who don't know me, I'm Makita. You'll hear Makita. You may have heard about Makita on the podcast. Dr. Uno so graciously always brings me up. You know, I'm just so grateful. I tell people I have the best job in the world because I get to work with Dr. Una. She is the real deal. She loves physicians. She is constantly talking about how to make the school better, how to help more physicians, how to help them get more wins. That's all she talks about, literally. So, you know, when you see her and she seems like she's so genuine and she seems like she's so wonderful, and she didn't even know I was going to say it, all of this. Um, I didn't even know I was going to say all this. It just came up because I mean she is really so genuine. She really cares. This dream that she has to help 100,000 physicians um, build profitable businesses. It's not. There's nothing selfish about it. It's because she's seen the things that are happening in medicine. Some of it. Is there anybody that's listening to me that's you know kind of not too happy with some of the things that's happening in medicine? There are some things to be concerned about, right? So she believes that physicians should be the decision makers in medicine. She believes that they should be on top. They should be able to build profitable businesses and live life and practice medicine the way they want it. You know, the reason why you went to medical school in the first place, you know. So this is going to be exciting. We have some of the most wonderful students in the school. There's so many wonderful students and all of them are doing great. But I just have some of the stories here today. So we're going to get started. Anyone excited about that? We have, first of all, Dr. Obidi. Dr. Obidi, if you can unmute yourself, we would love to hear from you. Yeah, Dr.
Hello,
Shirley. How are you, Dr.
everybody.
Shirley?
Hi, Makita. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
Are you unmuted? Check your, do you mind checking your volume?
Let's see. Is that any better? Let me try this.
Okay. Okay, wonderful.
Can you hear me? Oh, no, I can't hear you. Oh, 1 second. We'll fix this. How about that? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yay, there you go.
Tech will be tech,
What?
right? Thank you, everyone.
Exactly, exactly. Let me get some better light in here. We'll make this work, okay? How are you, Makita? It's good to see you.
Amazing, Dr. Obidi. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. Tell us a little bit about your EntreMD journey. I remember it wasn't this time last year, but it was close. I remember you know, it was in the springtime when you joined. And
Yes.
one of the crazy stories about you is, well, I'll let you tell it. I'll let you tell the story.
Well, I'm not sure what story you're referring to, so hopefully I tell it. But But you're right, though. It's been about a year because it was a visibility formula right around this time of year, maybe a little further. Maybe I think it was April was when I had attended my first visibility formula, and again, for everyone who doesn't know, my name is Dr. BD. I'm a pediatrician, and I am the CEO of Partners in Pediatrics and Family Health. It's a family practice out in Western Maryland. And I'm also a CEO of Newborn Prep Academy, where I help new and expectant moms and recently delivered moms learn how to care for their newborns and how to release mom guilt and truly enjoy their babies, caring for them confidently. So that's another new project I have going on. And so I, like I said, came into the EntreMD world about a year ago. And prior to that, I was a physician entrepreneur who had just really discovered, being recently bitten by the entrepreneurial bug, and had done a little bit of coaching. So was really getting comfortable with the idea of being an entrepreneur and running my practice with a little bit more of a different mindset than just a doctor walking in the practice. So I've worked at this practice for over 17 years. I've owned it for the last 9 years now. And the first 8 years, I felt like I was just trying to swim and survive and get my head above water. And maybe like the first I'll say 6 years, and more recently started to get more warm to the idea of running the practice as a business owner. But prior to EntreMD, I really was still a very I was not a confident entrepreneur. I was not a confident physician entrepreneur. So I was running my practice. I knew it was successful to some degree. I knew I was making some money. I was able to make payroll. We were able to get through the pandemic without firing anyone or slashing hours, and still made more money that year. So, but I was not confident. I was plagued with what would you call it now? Really just wasn't sure of myself, for lack of a better way of putting that. Right, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of imposter syndrome. Really just wasn't sure. Just felt like I didn't really know exactly what I was doing. And so, I came to the visibility formula just really to see, what it was all about. I had said to listen to Dr. on her podcast and really found great value in it. And what blew me apart, what just blew my mind with the visibility formula was that first couple of days and the assignments that she gave out to do. And I had, prior to that, done maybe 1 or 2 Facebook Lives, maybe done a few videos in my efforts to grow my online business. But I had never really done that confidently. And so she had said, you need to go out there, introduce yourself on your platform, tell people what you're about, what your business is about. And so I just, went ahead and did just that, right? Did the assignment. And I was blown away by the engagement by the audience, even just my practice audience on our Facebook page. And I was just surprised at how simple it was to just go on there and say, hi, I'm Dr. BD. This is what I do. Thank you for being part of the practice, blah, blah, blah. And just sort of talk about the practice and what our passion is for our patients. And it was just amazing, just the engagement. And there was another assignment about really pitching yourself. And I think everyone just pitched themselves recently, right, on the EntreMD Facebook page. And I got all these invites. And there was actually a lady who I thought, okay, I'm going to approach her to get on her podcast maybe a year from now when my business has grown a little better, a little bigger. And I just went for it. And she said yes. I was like, what? So I was just so taken aback by the success from taking those small, simple steps, that I knew that if this was a free program, if this was what I could already benefit from just this few days, that there had to be a whole lot more in the business school, which has not failed to deliver. It's been an amazing ride so far in the business school. I think I had said yesterday, maybe it was yesterday or the day before, when Dr. Una was talking about you could pay in full and have a one-on-one session with her. Well, I was one of the people who took up that offer a year ago, and it was an amazing session. I mean, there was some advice you gave me about my business and the structure and the focus of my business that really just set me on a different path than I would have gone, or at least I wouldn't have found that path right away. And just some distractions that I just sort of took my self away from, and focused on my practice. And it's been amazing. It really has been. We've grown this year, revenue wise. So the business is still growing. And not only did I join EntreMD business, the EBS, the EntreMD business school, but there's also a high-level program she was offering called EntreMD Business School Scale, EBS Scale, which I took advantage of. I think it was November last year, right? October, November last year. And that in and of itself has been just an amazing experience. I mean, the whole EBS community is just hands down just one of the best communities I've ever been a part of. And I was just thinking about just the other day, in our small WhatsApp group for the EBS scale, I was just bouncing around some ideas, and they were helping me workshop an idea. And I was just calculating today when I implement that in the next few weeks, that will probably, at the very least, bring in $20,000 extra dollars this year without changing anything. Mm-hmm. And all just had to do with just what I'm going to be able to do with my billing with the services I'm already providing, which I would not have thought about, if I was not part of that group, just working on my business. So it's really been amazing. Visibility has been just incredible. I'm more confident on camera, and just being able to just sort of come on and speak without having to have all my notes super prepared. I remember that first assignment, I was thinking about this the other day, that first assignment when she said to go and introduce yourself to your audience, I made sure everyone had left the building. It was at the end of the day, everyone had left, all the providers had left, all the MEs had left, it was completely quiet. And I, went online, did my thing, and it was amazing. And now, I just put a sticker on my door, live recording in progress, don't bother me. And business, goes on as usual during the course of the day. I was doing, just because of the teaching and the discipline to show up on camera week after week after week after week. And you just get comfortable in front of one. I was doing a Facebook Live several months ago, and my kids were in the room. They would never have been in the room, me doing a Facebook Live. That would have been impossible. But they were there behind the camera, and I was doing my thing, and they started to make faces at me. So I started to laugh. It was so funny. And I called them on to come on camera and say hi to the audience. But, just again, I say all that to say it's going to be uncomfortable initially. I know for a lot of you, this may have been a big stretch this whole week, or the teachings to come on camera and to stand on a stage and to talk about your message. But embrace it. It's going to be uncomfortable, but embrace it, because it does get better. You do get more comfortable, and you get seen. We've had patients come to the practice just because of seeing my content online, which would not have been there if I hadn't attended this workshop and been part of the business school, and sort of got trained to be able to speak in front of a camera and talk about my work, all right, and get to interview other guests on my Facebook Live. So it's been really an amazing experience. On a personal level, I've been able to rearrange my schedule where I'm able to get home earlier and spend more time with my family, which has just been amazing. It's been, a few weeks now since I rearranged my schedule, but that wouldn't have happened without even having that mindset, right? Because of the container I'm in right now, I'm able to look at my calendar or the situation and say, okay, instead of saying this is not possible, I'm asking, how can this be possible, right? And so I was able to rearrange my schedule and still see the same number of patients, which I just felt was not possible prior to now, right? My goal is to take more vacation time this year, which is already all booked out, and still make more money this year. But I wouldn't have thought that way. I'll have just thought, okay, how can I spend more time so I can make more money, right? But so it's really been a great experience. And I know I'm rambling right now at this point, but stop me anytime. Yes, it's been, I will make that decision 1,000 times over without hesitation.
That is awesome. And we're all Dr. Chinwe says in the comments, how can this be possible? Take more time off and still create more revenue. Congratulations. We're all rooting for you. Can we give it up for Dr. Obidi in the comments? Man, that was beautiful, wasn't it? That was so powerful. I'm so glad you shared one of the things that, was so important that a lot of people deal with and is fear. A lot of people wonder, what, can I really be an entrepreneur? Can I do this? We get that question often, and you addressed it. You said that you felt like that before you entered the school. You weren't as confident in being an entrepreneur. You knew you were a great doctor, but when it came to being an entrepreneur, you weren't that confident. But being in the school gave you the tools to become so confident that, you're doing Facebook lives like it's nothing, and you're seeing the fruit in your business. So that's really wonderful. You were one of the people, Dr. Obidi, if I remember correctly, that made your investment in the school before you even started.
Yeah, I think
Made
it
your
was
investment back. Yeah.
Yeah, I've certainly got on that path. And I definitely have, like I was saying, just one simple suggestion within the group is going to, I'm certainly going to get 20, and that's been very conservative, $20,000. I've been able to renegotiate my payer contracts. One just came through. I haven't even shared that with my EBS skill team. If you guys are here, one came through. So I'm renegotiating my payer contracts right now, which, was something I just felt was not possible. Like, I'm a small practice. They're not going to talk to me. They're not going to even agree to, renegotiate my contracts and raise my prices, my, fee schedule. But it's happening, right? At the end of the day, that's going to net me God knows how much more for the same work, right, that I'm doing. But because of the training within the school, I was able to sort of show up to the negotiation table, albeit through email, with just more confidence, right? And I think, honestly, that was probably one of the biggest things I've gained from being part of the EntreMD business school and just the EntreMD world, is appreciating what I bring to the table as a physician entrepreneur, right? Like you said, I knew I was a good physician, but I think I bought the lie, with everybody, a lot of other people, maybe a lot of you watching right now, that, yeah, I'm just a physician, but I'm not a good business person. But that's just such, that's bullcrap. Because I really, for the first time, understood how my training as a physician really prepares me to be a fantastic entrepreneur, right? I knew it prepared me to be a hard worker. I've always known that, I can work hard, right? It's not a big deal to wake up at whatever time in the morning to go to the ER, see a patient, whatever, right? I knew I could work hard, but I didn't realize how transferable all the skills were in the business world as well. And I was only looking at the fact that I wasn't experienced doing it. But we weren't experienced either the first time we got to see patients, right? The first time as a medical student, you were taking history, the HPI, and coming up with an assessment and the plan and differential diagnosis. That was very messy, right? But now I'm a pediatrician. I'm sure my fellow peds people will say the same thing. I'm sure it's probably the same for a lot of other specialties, that half the time you can just look at the shift presenting complaints and you could very well just write a assessment and the plan and prescribe, and you'll be right most majority of the time, because we've done it so many times that we can just tell what the issue is, even without taking a detailed history. We still go in there and take a detailed history just in case there's something else going on. And, you know, also just good bedside manners. But because we've done it so many times, you know, we can do a lot of things in our, you know, with our eyes closed and in our sleep, right? And that was just the same thing with business also. Yes, we aren't great at it initially, but because we just haven't practiced, but we have everything, you know, it takes to really do this well. Just the tenacity and the ability to do hard things and not to be afraid, right? I know a lot of people are afraid of business, but because they just haven't set their minds to it. I mean, we're all afraid in med school initially, but we had all set our minds to be in med school. And so even though we're afraid, we still showed up and did the work, right? And it's the same thing in business also. Like if once you've decided, okay, I'm going to do this, you're going to be afraid initially, but you're still going to show up just because of your makeup as a physician, where you're able to just step on the stage and just do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. Yeah. And yeah, so that's probably one of the greatest things that have actually benefited from being part of this amazing community.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Dr. Uno always says physicians make the best entrepreneurs.
100%.
Yeah, and what sets the business school apart, the EntreMD Business School, is that Dr. Uno takes business principles and distills them to the physician world. It's gold. I mean, it's really wonderful. The link is in the comments, entremd.com/business. If you're even thinking about it, you know, there are people that have already applied. There are people that have already joined the school. We have new classmates. I'm so excited for them. Some of them, yay, yeah. Some of them will get a one-on-one call with Dr. Una, and you know, some will get a one-on-one call with me. If you're just thinking about it, I know there was a comment in this in the chat about what if you have a new business or some. I thought I saw something like that. What if you have a new business? Just go ahead and fill the application. I'm going to call you. We're going to talk about it and we'll find the right fit for you. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Obidi. Can we just clap for him? That was so amazing and inspirational.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank
I appreciate it, Peter.
Good
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Join the school. It's not totally worth it.
Yes. That's from somebody who made their investment back in the school before he even started the school, because of the things he was learning. So that's pretty amazing. And he's still, I think he's gone on to open a second location. So many wonderful things are happening since entering the school. Thank you for sharing, Dr. Obidi.
Yeah,
now, now, are there any physician coaches in the chat? Any physician coaches? Because we have an amazing physician coach. That's our very own Dr. Mercado Marmarash. Come on, Dr. Diana, if you can just unmute yourself. We want to hear your amazing story about life before EBS. And Dr. Catherine is a physician coach. Well, you're going to want to hear all about Dr. Diana's experience in the business school.
Awesome. So thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Dr. Diana Mercado Marmarash. I'm a family medicine physician and ADHD coach for physicians and healthcare professionals. Prior to EBS, and maybe like 3 years prior to now, COVID really did a number on several of us. And for me, it hit reality that, you know, my 200 to 300 open charts and my graveyard of unfinished business was not something that was sustainable. And, you know, I always used to think that there was something wrong with me. I used to wonder why I could be a physician, but why couldn't I just be on time for my patients? Why couldn't I just like keep my house orderly? I had all kinds of thoughts. And of course, business was far, like nowhere near my mindset. I thought I was always going to be working the 8 to 5 type of job and not have to worry about the business part of it. I just show up and some of my patients would be here and I didn't have to worry about the marketing or anything like that. because of COVID, and I was the clinical medical director, and I started to realize that something had to change. I started to invest in coaching. And while things were getting a little bit better, I realized that I had to stop ignoring my own ADHD and that I had to invest in that part of it so that I could come to understand myself. I was too embarrassed or too ashamed to tell anybody I had ADHD. I think maybe 3 people knew prior to that. And now, like, I scream at the top of my lungs all the time. And now every time I diagnose somebody with ADHD, because I'm still practicing full time and my business is my side gig. That is my passion project. But now I'm like, congratulations, you have ADHD. And they look at me like I'm crazy. But like now I've come to realize that ADHD is a gift, but you have to learn how to unwrap it. And many of us don't realize that sometimes we're working or we're doing something that maybe there's an easier way to do. Maybe there's some shortcuts, but you don't know what you don't know. And so most of us are willing to work hard, and that's the only things that we've known all our lives. And the systems that got us here are not going to be the systems that get us to our next phase. And so prior to EBS, I had just completed my training to be a life coach, and I had launched once, and I had made $2,000 during that first launch. And then when I joined in June of 21, so it's almost been 2 years, I realized that I needed to start something like these challenges, which was putting yourself out there and marketing and explaining to people why coaching could be something that was needed. Most people always told me that you needed to set up like one-on-one clients and that you needed to do this and that. And I guess I've always been so comfortable with groups. I just went straight to groups. In January, I've launched the 10th group. I've been able to help 90 physicians and medical students. And now, and the last 2 times that I've launched, I actually even made a transformational group coaching for healthcare professionals. So I still have my physician group for themselves, but I now also have it for the healthcare professionals, because I joke around that, okay, finally the physicians got their shit together, but what about the rest of the team? Like, somebody has to support the physicians, right? So I am very careful with this because, you know, we can talk about mindset till we're blue in the face, but if you don't have the systems in place, which this is some of the things that I was able to learn through Dr. Una's business school, is that, you know, you cannot be the water boy or the water girl. You can't be doing and the quarterback at the same time. Like, you have to make sure you have a team that's going to support you so that you can work at your highest level. And delegation for somebody with ADHD was not something that was easy for me to do, because all I knew was that hard work would get me, that had always gotten me there. And trusting to do like B+ notes or C+ notes was not something that I, you know, would ever tell myself. But again, in learning that for ADHD, you have low dopamine, and most of us don't want to give ourselves a break or don't want to invest in self-care activities because we think we haven't earned it. But really, when you do take frequent breaks, when you do the things that you enjoy, you actually are more efficient. Mm-hmm. And so I realized I had a time blindness. So then I started using pretty little timers, and I started getting my nurses to come knock on the doors and to give me that spotter. And then I started coming to each of the retreats that Dr. Una had and writing whatever she would ask us to write. And honestly, I mean, I think I share this all the time. I probably did 30% of her challenges, because with a full-time job, and right now I have a 4 and a 5-year-old, and you can only do so much. But all that challenges that she was helping us to do was helping me to establish myself as a leader. And, I speak at conferences that I only dreamed of attending. And, I just got an invitation I shared with a group on Wednesday to go present in Rome for mental health, which, like, Italy, yeah, crazy, right? And so in the last 2 years, I've been able to present at the ADAD conference, and in May I'm going to be presenting at the Texas Medical Association, which is the big association, and I'm going to be talking about how to identify ADHD in physicians. So, like,
awesome.
Yeah. So the point here is that you're looking at somebody who's been trying to put in the work all the time for the last 2 years. I'm not saying this to have you compare myself to you. I'm just showing you that it is possible for you. That the first time I did my launch or I did my webinar, I didn't even know how to use Zoom. So, like, you can totally learn. Like, I didn't even know how to charge people. I had to learn to set up PayPal. And I'm saying this because I still don't even know how to use Instagram, okay? Because I delegated that. I know I have a podcast that I've had it for a year now, and I don't know how the magic happens behind the thing. I just get on a call and I talk to amazing people, and then I send that over to my VA to edit it. Why am I saying that? Because you can learn things. Like, business is supposed to be fun, but business is also hard if you don't have the right community. So having the right community are the shortcuts. And Dr. Una, again, I didn't realize that she had really kind of kept us sheltered in the way that entrepreneur business usually are, because they tend to be competitive. Well, in our community, we tend to be very collaborative. Like, we don't even question whether they're going to help us. Like, we know they're going to help us. And so I reached out to somebody asking a question sometime like 2 months ago, and that person said, well, even though I'm a female physician and you're a female physician, I don't want to help you. Like, what if you take off? Like, what if you become better than me in the business that you're trying to get to? And I'm like, you've been doing your business for 5 years. I'm just asking you questions. Like, so the point is that sometimes
that person wasn't in the business school. I just want to clarify.
Right, exactly. That person was not in the business school. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just assume anybody who I would talk to would be so excited to share ideas like we do in the business school. And when I went outside of the business school to ask somebody a question, they weren't willing to help. And the point of that is that I was okay with it. Like, I was like, okay, well, not everybody is gonna be willing, but that didn't keep me from still asking my question, right? That's still, the point is that you need to bet on yourself. You become your best investment, and you keep trying different things. I think because I was ignoring my ADHD, I didn't make it mean a thing if I had to do A, B, C, D. But now I've learned, okay, well, what if I don't have to work as hard? What if I can work smarter instead of harder and lean on the community? Yes, also do your homework. Dr. Una says opportunity meets those that have prepared, right? And so be willing to put in the work, be willing to trust yourself. And I know a lot of us are thinking, well, man, that's a lot of money that you're asking me to dish out. But think about how much money you invested in becoming an MD, like how many years, right? And how much loans, right? And so for me, it was probably close to 500. I don't know how much it was for you, but everybody's different. So paying all that money still didn't prepare me for business. And of course, it's not like you're gonna get a degree from here, but the network that you get becomes your net worth, because now you have people in the room that have connections that can help you open many doors. But again, I'm talking to you 2 years in, right? I want you to hear that because it's 2 years in. I don't want you to feel intimidated that this is where you have to be. Everybody has to start somewhere. And even if it's just an idea, like, you can come and we can help you to make it be better. And look, in May, I am going to Costa Rica. I am hosting a retreat. I have 6 spots left. I've sold 9. Did I ever think I would be hosting an international retreat for physicians, providing CME and letting them know that they could, level up their executive and function and their emotional regulation tools and relationships? No, never in the wildest dream would I have thought that would be something that would be possible. But here I am doing it. Probably most people would be like, okay, well, maybe at some point. And I was like, no, we're doing this because this is what is aligned with where I'm at. Probably you're wondering, well, what is she doing now? Well, now I'm still working full time, but I've rearranged my schedule too. At the beginning, I would have never thought that I could ask for a day off, that I could work a 4-day week. I did that for a year and a half. And since February, I'm only working 3 days a week. I am working Wednesday, Thursdays, Fridays, and I'm working 7 to 7. I'm outpatient family medicine. My pay has not gone down. It's still the same. If anything, 3% increase every year. I did step down from some stuff, like I let go of my of being the medical director for the nursing home, and then as of January, I let go of my chief medical officer position. But those were on purpose because I've decided that I wanted to play more, that I wanted to have Monday and Tuesdays off so that I could go even more all in on my coaching business. And so that I could seek more opportunities. And so I could be more present with my family on Saturday and Sunday, right? So again, I would have never thought that I would be saying, hey, I work 3 days a week, right? But here I am. And the same thing, like everything that I started implementing for myself, for my ADHD support group, because I am the clinical medical director, I was able to do it across the board for all my providers so that we all had an easier workflow, so that 4 out of the 6 physicians are working 3-day weeks now, 3-day, yeah. And so again, having options, saying why not, and since October, I've been able to have scribes for everybody too. So again, things that people think that, oh, we can't do that, or there's not enough money. Well, where there's a will, there's a way. You'll find a way, right?
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh my goodness. Can we clap for Dr. Diana in the comments? She said so many bombs. I don't even know where to start. I mean, she negotiated a 3-day work week for herself, same pay. Not only that, she's able to do it for all the providers, all the other providers that work with her. 3-day work week and a scribe for everybody, not just for yourself. That's awesome. Not only that, you've got a retreat coming, and this is just her side hustle. And you went from making just $2,000 to making 6 figures in your side hustle. Your side hustle is bringing in 6 figures. So this is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing this amazing story. You got total boss, you've got some clapping hands there, and there are a few people who want to connect with you. So let them know how they can find you, email or your social media handles. Let them know how they can find you and follow your amazing story. Thank you so much for sharing. And I love
awesome.
Oh, go ahead.
So if you can find me, actually, if you want to come to the procrastination workshop that I'm doing tomorrow for free, you're welcome to come. It's called ADHD-lifecoach.com. That's my website. You can find me on Beyond ADHD. That's my podcast and that's my Instagram. But yes, reach out and I'll be more than glad to help you guys. And oh, did I say that my courses have CME? That's the best part. Get your employer to pay for your growth, girlfriend and boyfriend. Come on.
Get the hospital to pay for it. Yes. That's incredible. That is what I'm talking about. Get the hospital to pay for it. Why not? That's so good. So the link is in the comments. Like I said, I mean, you know, one thing that people don't realize that happens in the school is Dr. Una teaches you negotiation. You've heard two people mention it already. I didn't even know they were going to mention it. She teaches you how to negotiate. So Dr. Diana is an entrepreneur. She's still employed. She's not thinking about leaving, you know, right now. She's got a 3-day work week. She's living her best life, but she's doing it on her terms. This is what she wanted to do. So Dr. Una teaches you negotiation in business and in as an employed professional. So it's really, really amazing. The link is in the comments. If you're thinking about it, just fill an application. Thank you so much, Dr. Mercado. That was wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And we have the amazing Dr. Panico here to share with us. Tell us who you are and let us know more about you.
Hi, so I am Brittany Panico. I am a rheumatologist in Arizona in the Phoenix area, and I've been in EBS for a year. This month is my year anniversary, and I joined because of the visibility formula workshop as well. I kind of came across it happenstance. I think it was through Facebook, or I sort of saw a post or something and recognized Dr. Una's name actually from Sunny Smith's program. So again, kind of that coaching background. So I joined the workshop, and it was sort of at a time in my life where I knew that I wasn't happy with where my career was going. So I was looking for a way to be different. I was looking for a way to set myself apart from my peers. So I followed her advice, and I was working full-time as well. I have 3 small children under the age of 7. My husband is an electrophysiologist working full-time. So the idea of sort of stepping out of my comfort zone of literally showing up to work and seeing patients was very scary, because of course we all think, where can we find the time for this, right? Where is time going to appear? And I have a really close friend who opened his own dermatology practice, and he really sort of helped me see what was possible in my own community, really understand like, okay, I'm in an environment where private practice can be very successful. So he kind of planted the seed along with Dr. Una and EBS to, again, be different, set myself apart. And that just got me thinking, you know, maybe I could open my own practice. I was in my second employed position. I came from Chicago, moved to Arizona during the pandemic, and was going through burnout a second time and thinking like, I can't live like this. I can't be in an environment where my ideas don't matter to my peers, my colleagues. My boss wasn't really in the picture. I think a lot of us who are employed sort of have a relationship where our physician boss is different than our clinic boss. So my clinic staff was not my own, and they didn't answer to me, and they didn't really reciprocate the problems that I felt like needed solutions. So I just spun in this hamster wheel every single day thinking, how can I get myself out of this? And I was doing the public service loan forgiveness program. So I set myself a deadline. When my loans get forgiven, I'm out. I'm going to do what I want to do with my life. And that's my gift to myself. So it was perfect timing that I joined EBS while I was preparing for my last year of loan payments, and use that opportunity to really practice and prepare myself for what I wanted to do. So I was employed. I had some restrictions based on my contract, but I sort of under the surface started a Facebook profile that is my Dr. Brittany Panico page. So not attached to my employment, but it was my platform where I did the videos. I did the work that EBS talks about. I built my brand, right? My Dr. Brittany Panico brand. Then, went on Instagram. I got very active on LinkedIn and started building a network of people who would be able to recognize me once I decided to leave. So really worked on honing and practicing the skills that we go through in the business school. And like I think, the others have said, there aren't very many of us. There are a few, but there are not very many of us that do 100% of the work. It just is, if you work full-time, part-time, whatever, a lot of us will do 30%, or I was kind of, one of the lurkers. I really laid low. I didn't engage very much in the beginning, but I did the work behind the scenes, and I paid attention, and I listened to what my classmates were doing, and sort of, I have a million screenshots on my phone of posts that I've kept of like, I will come back to this. I want to remember this. So I built that data bank every month and did the work and filed it away until my loans were forgiven. And then I decided to open up my own practice. And I'm sort of in a unique position that I joined, so I am myself, but I joined 2 nurse practitioners to build an even bigger practice right away. So they're independent in my state, and collectively now we are a group. And it just sort of happened that was kind of how it evolved for me. So my experience is a little bit different, but I'm still getting credentialed. I'm not 100% up and running yet, but what I'm trying to say is I have the tools. I have the tools that have allowed me to be confident in building this vision that's bigger than what I could have ever imagined. And I learned that by surrounding myself with people who shared similar vision, who shared similar goals, those people were far more important than the ones that were holding me back. And it really allowed me to separate from my colleagues who didn't want to change, who didn't want to do anything different. And just having that, support and encouragement and confidence to be able to do something really daring. So I think now, when so many of us have either gone through burnout or we're in the midst of it, right? Really understanding, okay, I'm doing something different. I'm doing something scary, and I'm not sure how to do it, but I'm in a group that will lift me up. I posted this week about tips on how to run a staff meeting. And I wasn't ashamed or embarrassed to ask that question, because I knew there are so many great people who could give me different tips. And then I can take what I want from those tips and build how I want to run my meetings, right? So we talk about collaboration. We talk about ways that, building something that fits your needs and using the ideas, the collective ideas of others to really build something amazing. And I think too, as part of that, the more lives that I do, the more podcasts that I go on, the more conversations I have with people, it's really opened me up to being able to pivot in my own career, my own practice, and think, well, why am I not offering this to people? Mm-hmm. Why am I holding back? If I can offer this other service and potentially bill for it, right? That is revenue for me. That is something that I don't need corporate approval to be able to do. I can just decide that I want to do it. So I met with a founder from a technology company this morning about how to build an app for remote monitoring for rheumatology patients. And I never would have had the courage to seek that out or to ask, who here can, who can we come up with a solution for these patients? And just having the confidence to say, I'm a leader, I'm a thought leader in my field, and I want to make a difference. Who out there on LinkedIn or, wherever, Doximity, who out there can help connect me to somebody that can help? So, responding to posts that I would have never had the courage to respond to, having a voice on a platform I would have never engaged in, and really just being somebody who isn't afraid to, to voice those things. And I think a lot of us, Dr. Una really spoke, we all kind of think like she's speaking directly to us, and it's true. her talking about being an introverted introvert, like that was me. I'm so much more comfortable as a listener and a lurker, but I've learned through her and through the EBS school that, like, look at what we can accomplish if we grow, if we take those challenges and really try to, practice these tools. So networking, I would have never been somebody who goes to, optional networking things just to meet people and hear what they have to say. And I've really helped connect other people into fields that they had no idea were connected with their specialty. So it really is just a powerful network of helping each other realize what we're capable of. And then when you think you reach that level, we go to the next level, right? Like, I can do even more than that. And just like how medicine is, muscle memory to us, right? Dr. We heard about that as well. And so now the business stuff is starting to become a muscle memory tool. And that's even a year. I haven't even been doing it very long. And I'm reaching for business related books to listen to on my commute. I'm reaching for, what are my gaps that I can then go learn how to do this thing. So, we talk about learning how to use Instagram and things like that. Like, we can outsource a lot of that, sure, but I'm not at a place where I'm doing that yet. And I think that's okay, right? We encourage that and we talk about that, but it's also okay to learn the skill yourself and be able to do it. And then when you get to a place that you can outsource it. So, we're all different backgrounds, we're all different levels of our career, all different levels of building. And I think it's just so powerful that we come together and help each other meet those goals and really celebrate those successes, but then help each other through those troughs. We've had classmates who are very vulnerable in expressing their struggles, and collectively people have come up with ideas that help them through that, right? So it's just so powerful to be able to be in a community that literally is no judgment, because it's all about how can we be better together, because we're all part of EBS. So, we kind of talk about, well, where have we gone from here? So my biggest takeaway, or at least my experience, is I had the courage to leave a place that I did not feel valued. And rather than be a cog in the wheel, decided my voice is different. And I no longer align with the values of this organization. And I will never forget one of our topics one day one of our classes that we were sharing things. I forget who it was, but I just remember somebody saying during a negotiating phase that no is a complete sentence. Like, I'm making this statement and I'm not negotiating. So when I sat down with my boss to give my resignation, I did it in person. And he looked at me and said, I'd like you to reconsider what you're saying. And I said, no, thank you. I'm giving you my resignation. Like, I didn't explicitly say there is no negotiation, but I did not waver. I didn't look like it was a question. I said, I vision my career going in a different direction, and I'm here to let you know that I will no longer be here 90 days from now. So having that courage to sit down and just say no, we're people pleasers, I think, a lot of times because we're helpers and caretakers, but having the courage to be confident and not let someone else in an authoritative position persuade you to change your mind. Like, we are the authority. We're the authority of what's in here, right? So just, being at a place where you feel you can stand up for yourself and you can determine if something isn't working and how you're going to pivot those changes. I mean, I can't even put a price tag to that feeling of empowerment. So one of my biggest things with EBS is just the empowerment and, feeling that I'm worth the ideas and the decisions that I'm making. And that's again, it's priceless, really. So I know a lot of people have a question about the price, and I don't think I've really ever shared this within EBS, but my trick, which is a little, my husband laughs at me, but I set aside more money in taxes to be able to get a refund. So I kind of subconsciously just stack away a little bit extra every year. So I use my tax refund to pay for EBS. So I know we're kind of in that tax period, but if you're thinking like, I would love to do this, but I just am not in a financial place to do it at the moment, maybe just set aside an extra amount of money into your tax account every year. And that way you get a nice check back and can then put that into EBS. So that is how I pay for EBS. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody. Again, my husband doesn't exactly agree with me, but again, that's what I feel works for my decision-making. So for those of you that think, you know, again, I want to be a part of this community and I just don't know how to do it. I can't work extra, right? If I'm salaried, I can't make more money. I can't make it come out of somewhere. If you can just stash it away a little bit without realizing it, then it will come back to you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you for sharing your story, Dr. Panico. It's fabulous to know that you've had this complete transformation in a year. Like when you see yourself, don't you see that I'm a different person? Like who is this?
I literally am. I had straight hair a year ago. I still do straighten it, but I literally like had the courage to start wearing my hair curly. So I do feel like a different person. I feel like the feeling that I have, the mindset that I have has allowed me to take chances in other areas of my life that, again, I held back because I thought other people wanted something different from me.
Mhm.
That doesn't matter anymore. You know, it's what I want for myself and my family and what I envision my career to be like.
Yes. And I'm so grateful that you are part of this community because the things that are happening in your life now, I don't want to say they wouldn't have happened, but it
wouldn't have.
Yeah, it wouldn't have happened if had you not been in the community because the community actually supports you. When you have crazy ideas or when you have ideas to do things outside of the box, you need a community of people that are there like, yeah, you can do it. Oh my goodness, you were great. You know, you need that because the rest of the world doesn't necessarily feel that way. They're not feeling your vision. They're not necessarily understanding your vision. You know, so when you have that safe place where you can be yourself and you can be vulnerable and when you can tell fear to take a back seat, then like you said, Dr. Panico, it's absolutely priceless. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
And you know, the link is in the comments. Dr. Panico, some people are wanting to know your Facebook handle. They want to contact you. The link is in the comments. Please register. If you're thinking about it, please register. Now, I'm going to ask you guys for a favor. I need you to give me some time. Let me know in the comments if you can give me some time. I have a bomb, like an explosion waiting for you. Can you guys let me know if you can give me some time? If you can give me some time? Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Troutman. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gile. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bates. Oh, that's my friend, Dr. Bates. Thank you, Dr. Moore. Okay, wonderful. I got some time. Wonderful. Now, we are going to hear from the one and only Dr. Afolabi Brown. So please unmute yourself. Let us know all this amazing journey that you took. You are in your second year in the school?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am. Hi.
Now, in case people didn't know, there are people in the third year in the school, like they're just like EBS for life. I'm not leaving. That's just it. I'm not leaving. So Dr. Brown is one of them. So we want to hear from you. Please tell us your story.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is, I'm Dr. Funke Afolabi Brown. I have a company called Restful Sleep MD, and really my mission is to empower busy women and their children to prioritize sleep. And I do this through speaking, consultation, coaching. And honestly, before I came to EBS, in fact, I usually am like fired up and all that, but I had a long, rock the stage, incredible events today where I spoke and just like literally blew people away. I have to say that. And I'm humble. I promise you I'm humble, but I killed it. I applied every single every single signature formula, everything I've learned, visibility from like network, it was incredible. I got cards, I gave people my cards, and I already got like maybe potentially 2 or 3 potential speaking gigs from just that. Okay, so I'm just like sitting in it right now. So please just bear with me. But that being said, 2 years ago, before EBS happened to me, that's what I say. Like literally, EBS happened to me. That's what it is. I had no clue. All I knew was that I was just like uncomfortable, right? Like most of us probably on this call may recognize that feeling where you're just like, wait, is this it? Like I was working in an academic institution. I was by definition pretty well, doing really well, in terms of I was publishing, I was mentoring, I was doing the things I thought was, it for me, and it just didn't feel like it, right? So I didn't necessarily have a business idea. I didn't even know I was going to do business. I'd never really done coaching, nothing of that sort. But I started listening to the EntreMD podcast, and honestly, that really started to open my eyes regarding possibilities. So I knew I had to get into the community because I'm like, all this free stuff, look at how it's changing my mindset. I started doing maybe a little bit of blogging. I was just kind of trying to put myself out there, trying to apply even the things I was learning. And so I jumped right in and really started trying to do the work to the best of my ability, again, fully, employed full-time. And, slowly but surely got a sense of what my business idea was and started implementing things, putting myself out there, and then really getting, better at it. So it wasn't perfect. It was like what I set was as my mission when I started is different from now, and it keeps evolving. But, we don't wait till we have it all like figured out, because that will take a while, right? We just keep reiterating, we keep listening to what our clients want and keep moving forward with it. And it's been a life-changing experience, honestly. It's there's work involved. I mean, I think you have to be committed to doing work, right? It's not something that's things don't just happen because you're in the community. You leverage the community to do the work that you have the potential to do. And I think that's just been, I've learned a lot about myself as well. My confidence has grown as someone, as a physician who also has a business, which I really didn't think I could put those two words together before EBS. So the mindset shift has been huge. And also just the ability, the potential to dream. And I can give an example. Yesterday, I saw one of my colleagues. I just went in to meet her and just said, "Hi, how are you? What's going on?" I mean, they know, I should have mentioned, I turned in my resignation to leave my paid employment this June, really to go fully in with my business. And it took a while getting there. And, I'm so happy I made that decision. I'm very excited. And I'm not saying you have to leave your job. I just knew I was ready to make that shift, right? But I was talking to my colleague and she's like, "I just feel stuck. I feel tired. I don't know where to go. I'm so tired. I don't even have the space to think of what I want to do." And my goodness, to me, that sounded like, when like you're grating nails on a wall, like, oh my gosh, no, there's hope for you. And, I was able to just coach her. But a lot of the things I was able to talk to her about was around just the things I've learned. I'm like, you have options, sweetie, and so we were able to just talk through. But I was just like, but where's all this coming from? Like, I was like, whoa, man, I'm inspired just hearing myself speak to her. So again, just what I've learned as a person and being able to encourage others to do the same has been incredible. Now, the tangible items are, again, a lot of what I've been doing has been around coaching women and their children, and also consultations and speaking. And I've done a lot of free speaking. I think I'd mentioned earlier, I've done close to 75 podcasts. So I go like, I'm like hardcore. I don't do 100% as well, like Dr. Panico said, of what Dr. Una says, but I try, man. And I'm like, okay, she said speaking. all right, this speaking, we will speak. So I've done that. And I think initially it was a lot of yes, yes, yes to a lot of opportunities. But then I now realizing, oh, wait, I do have a skill set and I can get paid to speak. And so now it's helping me set boundaries. It's helping me choose the opportunities. It's helping me learn to ask. It's helping me learn to really master my call to action to tell people I will speak for your organization on how you can use sleep as a superpower to enhance productivity. It's helping me to tell women to come work with me so that they can get their energy back by getting their sleep on track. And I've had, again, like I told you, this weekend was, today was just an example of that, of me consistently putting myself out there, going to a stage where I was paid to speak and then stepping off and, people reaching out and saying, hey, here's our card. We do want you to come in and speak to our organization potentially and all that. So the sky is really the limit. I think we're the only ones that can limit how far we can go when we really explore that entrepreneurial side of us. And I really do have EBS to thank for just again, non-judgmental community that has helped me get this far. I'm also being in a place where like no question is stupid. Like how do I change my Zoom to make sure I can see everybody in the little boxes versus like there's no question that's beyond asking, right? Or like, listen, I'm having a crappy day. I just want to throw in the towel, and you see people just reach out to you in the group and also just DMing you to check in and all that. Like, and a very positive, generous community as well. Knowing that people have your back. So, long story short, everybody ahead of me has already said it. If you're even remotely considering, just talk to Makeda. Like, I feel like that's the best place to start. If you're on the fence, I think for me, it's been more than worth its weight in gold in terms of just the revenue on investment in my mindset, even in the tangibles as well. So yeah, and if anyone has any questions or wants to reach out to me, please feel free to do that as well.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, and I was featured on TV. That was a big deal. I was featured on ABC last week, Monday. That was a huge deal.
I was,
and people have bombarded my website since. People have started reaching out, and it's been incredible. And so again, nothing like this would have been possible if not for the business school and me really putting myself out there.
So I wasn't gonna let her get away with it because I was gonna say something if she didn't say something. I mean, ABC, as in national TV, Dr. Brown was featured on last week. And not only that, what about Baby Center?
Yeah, incredible organizations. Also, I helped with creating a course for Baby Center, which was huge, just coming out the park. And they found me because I was Googleable. I guess that's a term we use in EBS, be Googleable. I was Googleable, and they found me, and and it was just such a delight. Like they had me, they got me into, I did it in New York. I stayed there, got paid, came back, and I still get to be an affiliate on the course, even though they paid me already to create the course. So if people use my link, they can I still get a kickback on that. So again, lots of opportunities that this has opened up. And I know it's just the beginning. That's the thing. We always talk about this snowball coming, and someone was saying, I need to send out some winter gloves for the snowball coming. So yes, the snowball is constantly on its way, and the snowball is here.
Yes, it's here. It's here. That is awesome. And you're at a paid speaking gig right now that you just nailed and killed. So we are so proud of you. Let's give a round of applause for Dr. Brown in the comments, and let people know how they can find you if they want to reach out to you, how they can reach out to you. So this is EBS, guys. This is the EntreMD Business School. I'm gonna put the link in the comments one more time. And it's important for me to do this. I know it's like, okay, you've heard me say it all night, right? It's important for me to do this because I don't want you to miss out on the version of yourself that you're not aware of yet. There's a version of you that the world needs. And, it's not just your family. You're not just going to make a difference in your own life. You're going to make a difference in the world. Every business that was represented here, do you see the difference that they're making? They're making difference in the lives of people, and each person they're making a difference in affects another person. And we need what you have. We need to know what you have. We need to encounter your greatness. And the only way you can do that is if you amplify who you are, amplify that message, amplify your business. And we are here to help you. The EntreMD Business School is here to help you. We're here to help you bring that out. Yes, it's so true. So I don't want to end unless if there's anyone that has a question. I just want to make sure there's no questions. Does the school run twice a year? The school is a year program. It's a 12-month program. So it's a 12-month commitment. So it doesn't run twice a year. If you're talking about in terms of enrollment, the school has a rolling admission. So you can join at various times, but I would recommend joining now because Dr. Una has just started for two reasons. Number one, you get a one-on-one call, which we don't always do. Doing rolling admissions, we don't always have one-on-one calls. Not only that, Dr. Una has just started the kickoff orientation event. Is going to be starting next week, and it's going to be phenomenal. You don't want to miss that. And at the end of the day, why put your dreams on hold any longer? I don't think it's necessary to wait any longer. But any questions you have, please fill an application and we'll talk. Again, an application is not binding. We are just going to have a conversation. The event, I need to confirm that, Dr. Moore, Otsby. I believe the event will start on Wednesday. I believe it'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, Dr. Una confirmed this Wednesday. Then does everyone sign up after the workshop get a one-on-one call with Dr. Una? Now, the one-on-one calls with Dr. Una are for those who paid in full. The first 5. Oh, sorry, Dr. Una, I caught myself. I like spending Dr. Una's money and her time. So the first 5 people that pay in full will get the one-on-one call with Dr. Una. And then the first 7 people that pay do the monthly option will get a call with me. Dr. Ajayo, is the 5 spots filled then? Not yet. Don't say I told you, but not completely. You still have a chance. And do you know what? I normally don't work weekends because I have a 7-year-old boy that runs my life. I mean, the sun rises and sets in his eyes. I don't think people should be, I think it should be illegal to be an only child. I mean, he's an only child and he basically has me and his dad wrapped around his finger. So I normally don't work weekends, but I feel so strongly that we have some people that are with us tonight. Dr. Una said it's bad how much he runs her. That we have some people that are with us here tonight that are really at the cusp of us making a decision. So I'm going to open up my calendar for Saturday and Sunday. So if you fill an application tonight, or if you've already filled an application tonight and you already have my calendar, or if you've already filled one out and you already have my calendar, look for spots for tomorrow and Sunday, because I want to help you make that decision. And again, if the business school is not right for you, I'll refer you to something else. I want you to find what's right for you, because what you have to offer is precious. And the business that you have is not just for you. We need it. We need your business. You can change your appointment. Yes. Once I open up my spots for Saturday and Sunday, you absolutely can change your appointment. And this is great because I'm practically my son's grandmother. I've come to terms with it. I'm his grandma, not his mom. I've come to terms with it and I'm okay with it. So, but I want you all to know how much we value your time, how much we value what is the the changes and the transitions that happens in business. And we want to be there. We want to be there to help you. We want to be there to encourage you. We want to be there to root for you. So go ahead and fill an application, entremd.com/business. And I will see you tomorrow. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot. Guess what, guys? I strong arm Dr. Una, just kidding. Like I said, I like to spend Dr. Una's time. So I was like, Dr. Una, please, 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 we need a VIP session. And you're the best. We want to hear from you. So tomorrow, I'm telling you, we thought today was the last day. Nope, tomorrow Dr. Una has a VIP session tomorrow. Question and answer session. So tomorrow, 6 p.m. same time, join us. And it's just going to be quite, ooh, Dr. Morrison, ooh, it keeps getting better. If you have questions, join Dr. Una here tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then fill an application so we can, yay, Dr. Seawright applied, so that we can get on a conversation together, so we can have a call together. I am so excited about this. This is going to be so great. This is going to be great. Anyone else excited about what the future holds for us and what the future holds for medicine and physicians in general? It's going to be amazing. It's going to be really great. Well, thank you all for your time. I'm so glad. Thank you for letting us go over a little bit with the time. Change is coming. Yes. Thank you for your time, and you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Dr. Una, thank you for the VIP day. We are awesome. We are so grateful for the VIP Q&A tomorrow. It's going to be a great. You all have a wonderful night. Thank you again.